Imagine standing face to face with a treasure trove of cultural masterpieces worth $500 million, only to realize they've vanished without a trace. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist isn't just an art theft. It's a thrilling enigma that has defied the best detectives and the most advanced technologies for over 3 decades. The crime is a blend of sheer audacity, insider precision, and haunting mystery, leaving a trail of unanswered questions that keep investigators, art lovers, and the public enthralled. In the early hours of March 18, 1990, Boston's prestigious Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum became the site of the largest property theft in history. 2 men, disguised as police officers, walked into the museum, subdued 2 unsuspecting security guards, and made off with 13 priceless works of art valued at over $500 million. The case remains unsolved, and the art pieces have yet to be recovered, leaving investigators puzzled and art enthusiasts heartbroken. This video will take you through the shocking details of that fateful night, explores the cultural value of the stolen works, and examines the intriguing theories surrounding the heist. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum is a beacon of art and culture, founded in 1901 by the indomitable Isabella Stewart Gardner. Modeled after a 15th-century Venetian palace, the museum houses over 15,000 pieces of art, including works by legends like Rembrandt, Vermeer, Manet, and Degas. Isabella Gardner's will stipulated that the collection's layout must never change, and to this day, the empty frames of the stolen paintings remain on display, a haunting symbol of loss and an undying hope for recovery. At precisely 12:54 a.m., a fire alarm went off on the museum's 3rd floor. Though there was no fire, it marked the beginning of an 81-minute robbery that would become one of the most infamous heists in history. The museum's security was shockingly inadequate. Only 2 inexperienced guards, Richard A. Bath and Randy Heston, were on duty. Bath, a 23-year-old former music school dropout and part-time rock musician, manned the front desk while Heston patrolled the galleries. Abath had a history of showing up intoxicated, though he claimed to be sober that night. At 1:24 a.m., 2 men dressed as police officers arrived at the side entrance, claiming they were investigating a disturbance. It was the night after St. Patrick's Day, and the streets of Boston were filled with revelers. The story seemed plausible enough, and the guards made a fatal mistake. They buzzed the men inside, breaking museum protocol. The men wasted no time. With swift precision, they overpowered the guards, duct-taped their hands, feet, and faces, and led them to the basement. The thieves knew the museum's layout intimately, suggesting inside knowledge. They immediately made their way to the Dutch room on the 2nd floor, home to some of the museum's most valuable treasures. Using a sharp blade, they cut Rembrandt's Christ in the Storm, on the Sea of Galilee, and A Lady and Gentleman in Black out of their frames, shattering the protective glass. They pulled the Concert by Vermeer from its frame, a loss that art historians equate to losing the crown jewel of any museum. The thieves then grabbed a small but priceless self-portrait etching by Rembrandt, as well as a 12th-century Chinese coup bronze beaker. All in all, 7 items were stolen from the Dutch room. The thieves then moved on to the Short Gallery, where they took 5 sketches by Edgar Degas, including 3 mounted jockeys and Leaving the Paddock. They attempted to unscrew a Napoleonic flag from its case, but gave up, and instead took the eagle-shaped finial, an ornate ornament that once crowned the flagpole. Finally, they descended to the Blue Room on the 1st floor and stole Chez Tortoni by Edouard Manet. By 2:45 a.m., after making 2 separate trips to their getaway vehicle, the thieves were gone, leaving the guards bound and the museum in shambles. The heist wasn't a rushed job, it was an organized, strategic operation. The thieves moved with purpose, selecting specific artworks and seemingly ignoring others of greater value. This has led investigators to believe that the robbers had some degree of art knowledge or were acting on instructions from someone who did. Despite the museum's motion detectors, the thieves managed to evade detection in key areas. The most puzzling clue? The sensors in the Blue Room did not register any movement while Chez Tortoni was being stolen, raising questions about whether the thieves had tampered with the security system or if someone familiar with the museum had disabled it beforehand. The total value of the stolen art has ballooned from $200 million in 1990 to over $500 million today, making it the largest art theft in modern history. To put that into perspective, imagine losing an entire national budget or having a Picasso vanish overnight. Here's a breakdown of some of the most valuable pieces. Rembrandt's The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, estimated at $140 million. This painting is the only known seascape by the Dutch master. Its dynamic depiction of Jesus calming the storm captures a rare and powerful moment, making its loss devastating for the art world. Vermeer's The Concert, valued at around $250 million, this painting is one of only 34 Vermeer works in existence. The serene scene of three musicians practicing in a Dutch interior has left a hole in Vermeer's already limited legacy. Manet's Chez Tortoni, a small yet exquisite painting valued at $20 million depicting a well-dressed man in a cafe, writing while enjoying a glass of wine. The remaining pieces, including the Degas sketches and the Chinese Ku bronze beaker, are also of immense cultural value, although their financial worth is less staggering. The Napoleonic eagle finial, while not as valuable, is a unique artifact that holds historical significance. Despite decades of investigation, the heist remains unsolved. Theories range from an inside job to organized crime, and even international smuggling networks. Here are some of the most compelling suspects and theories. Richard Abath. The guard Abath's actions that night have made him a person of interest. Surveillance footage shows him letting an unauthorized visitor into the museum the night before the heist, and he briefly opened the museum's side door shortly before the thieves arrived. Was he signaling the robbers, or was it an innocent mistake? Despite these suspicious acts, Abath has consistently denied any involvement and passed 2 polygraph tests. The mob connection? The Boston Mafia has long been suspected of orchestrating the heist. The FBI has linked the crime to known mobsters, including Carmine Merlino and Bobby Donati. Donati, a low-level gangster, allegedly plotted the heist to use the stolen art as leverage to get his friend, mob boss Vincent Ferrara, out of jail. However, both Donati and Merlino are dead, and no solid evidence has emerged linking them to the crime. Brian McDevitt, the art thief. McDevitt was a con artist who once attempted a similar heist in New York, complete with disguises and plans to cut paintings from their frames. Although he fit the profile and lived near the museum, he denied any involvement and passed away in 2004. International smuggling rings. Some believe that the paintings were smuggled out of the country and sold on the black market. Art crime investigator Arthur Brand has traced leads to Ireland, suggesting that the works may have been hidden there. However, none of these leads have panned out. The mysterious letter. In 1994, the museum received a letter from someone claiming to have information about the stolen art. The anonymous writer claimed the pieces were being held in a non-common law country and offered to negotiate their return in exchange for immunity and $2.6 million. The museum agreed to the terms, but the writer vanished, leaving investigators with nothing but a dead end. The heist wasn't just a financial blow, it was a cultural catastrophe. The empty frames hanging in the museum are a somber reminder of what was lost. The paintings aren't just art, they are historical treasures, embodying the creativity, struggle, and vision of the artists who created them. Imagine walking through the Louvre and seeing a blank space where the Mona Lisa once hung. The museum continues to offer a $10 million reward for information leading to the artwork's recovery, the largest reward ever offered by a private institution. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist remains a mystery, an unsolved puzzle that captivates the imagination and frustrates investigators. The stolen art has become a symbol of cultural loss and a testament to the enduring allure of an unsolved crime. As new theories emerge and old suspects pass away, the world continues to hope that these masterpieces will one day find their way back home. Until then, the empty frames hang in quiet tribute, a haunting echo of a night when art history was forever altered. What are your thoughts? Was this a meticulously planned inside job, or are the paintings buried in a secret vault somewhere, waiting to be discovered? Share your theories and keep the conversation alive about one of history's greatest unsolved art mysteries. Thank you for exploring this journey with me. If you find value in understanding these complex and often dark realities, please consider subscribing. Until next time, stay safe.